Grunt.
Oh my god. We're just gonna go from there, I mean, it's like, you never know. If you guys hear some loud rock music, that's just the club that's above us. I don't know, man. I thought they told us that this place was quiet, but they only ever brought us here on a weekday.
Yeah.
So then you get here on a weekend, there's nothing but loud rock concerts, drug users.
Just heathens.
Just heathens
full
across
of fucking scum.
Across the board. But not here. There's one right there. Not here. As always, it's me, Bah, the agent and settler of Huey Hessen.
And I am Map, the agent and settler of Matthew, PA.
And this is They Know, the podcast about pseudo-science and conspiracy theories and other things, just weird shit,
Lunacy.
Just honestly, like borderline sanity is what we're kind of riding the line
We're really
here.
studying the effect the internet had on people believing bullshit.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. We could have minimized this, but now we've allowed these people to find out that there's other people like them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been downhill ever since.
Yep.
Anyway, this week's episode is called Magical Mystery Corps, and it's like core like CORPS.
Yeah.
Not
that
like
great G.I. Joe knockoff toy brand. The core.
Oh man, top tier. So we're talking about magic and fantasy stuff, weird things, and we're gonna jump right into it with.
All right. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
The first one on the list was called Destruction Elves, right? Or Demolition Elves.
It was Demolition Elves.
Demolition Elves. And I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So we picked it.
Yeah. So how did that go for you?
Horrible, because the only thing I look at is stuff on YouTube. I could not find a goddamn thing about a demolition elf at all. Like hours of trying to find something. Nothing. The best I came up with was machine elves, which was something I never heard of. And I was like, all right, well, that's at least something. And machine elves are essentially like, I mean, most people, if they encountered a machine elf, would just chalk it up to, I did too many drugs and I saw a weird shape-shifting elf. So basically, it's like these elves that are like made out of parts that are constantly moving.
Okay.
And they're like very helpful and nice.
Oh.
But there's also people that think that you're actually like teleporting into another dimension that they live in, and when you come and visit them, they're like, oh my god, someone's here, and they
want to help.
They want to, and they know you're only going to be here for a moment, so they like show you all this cool shit.
Give you a Mentos.
Yeah, well, they like take you around and show you all this cool stuff and then they know exactly when you're going to go away, and they're like, all right, well, it's time to say goodbye, and you're like, what? Oh. And it's all drug based. Like no one has seen a machine elf not on like acid or psilocybin or something.
As we know from Eggless Travel,
yeah, you can teleport.
You can go to different. Yeah, drugs help.
So it might be an actual plane of existence where it's like they're just imagine they're like Modrons from like D&D, essentially. I imagine they're like Modrons, but they're always like contorting and twisting in shape.
I mean, you got to really roll the dice there to hope you land on the machine elf.
Yeah, they sound awesome. They're very helpful and nice, and they're just like, oh, we're going to take care of you while you're here and show you how cool our place is.
That's pretty nice.
So yeah, I thought machine elf was going to be something. I don't know. It didn't sound so nice and wholesome.
Yeah, it does sound kind of ominous. I, however, did find something on Demolition Elves. I didn't know we were looking up Machine Elves. So
I didn't. I was like, I can't. I tried so hard,
dude.
You
pivoted to a different elf, which is understandable.
I just found another elf.
So Demolition Elves, it's the name given to global apparitions of diminutive humans seen directly before or after massive disasters. Resembling creatures of European folklore like gnomes and pixies, they are often seen in conjunction with more contemporary phenomena such as UFOs. They're kind of ridiculous. People seem to think that they're either trying to save people or they're causing it. They also look super stereotypical. Like they look like they were. It's like they say they have fairy tale sensibilities with miniature clothes and pointed hats. So we got possible explanations.
Okay.
Mass hysteria or hallucinations brought on by shock. An interdimensional traveler, as the machine elves would be. Extraterrestrials. I like this one here. Culturally significant visionary experiences.
Okay.
Or robots. Modrons. So, there you go, see? So, there's...
What if it's like the reverse for like, like people have bad trips and stuff? What if machine elves get high as fuck and they teleport to our realm when there's disasters around? Like when we go there, they're very nice. But then when they come here, they're demolition elves, and they just like show up and like,
something.
oh, we gotta fuck something up here.
So
this is all fucked up.
There's something I want to. This is brief because there's not much to talk about with these guys. So there's 3 accounts of people encountering these things, and what they said. It says that a number of UFO witnesses were among the dead of this. A bridge collapsed. And a number of UFO witnesses were among the dead. I talked to a woman who lives right by the bridge. She says that 2 days ago she saw 2 men climbing on the bridge. Climbing on it? Yes. They weren't walking across. They were climbing around the sides of it. Was she able to describe them? They were wearing checkered coats and black trousers. She couldn't see their faces because they were so far away, but she did notice their shoes, which seems...
weird.
Odd. They weren't wearing boots, just ordinary shoes. She thought that was odd because of the weather we'd been having.
What the fuck kind of eyewitness account is that? What? I mean, what made them elves?
I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay.
That particular one, that's all there is to
Okay.
it. They just lumped that one in with the elves.
That's amazing. We can just stop here.
Account number 2. In the 1970s, plans to move a rock out of the way of one major road went awry when a bulldozer inadvertently crushed a water pipe feeding a fish farm. 70,000 trout perished overnight. And there were also so many other freakish accidents in the following days that the project was abandoned. One workman claims to have been stricken with bad luck ever since. There are many stories of machines breaking down and workers becoming ill when they interfere with elf rocks. Now, at no point does it mention elf rocks prior to that.
Yeah. What the fuck are they talking? Is that even for demolition elves?
Now we approach my favorite of them all.
Okay.
According to the Invisible Elfin Demolition Team theory, these magical creatures tore out the interior walls of 3 massive skyscrapers, wrapped the structural beams with powerful cutting charges, replaced all the walls and furniture exactly as they were, and erased the memories of the thousands of people who would have witnessed their walls and furniture moving around without apparent cause. And then this is parenthetical. They were probably aided by rings imbued with unspeakable powers and cloaks woven by spiders of pure darkness.
What the fuck? Did they just say that demolition elves caused 9/11 with magic rings and spider cloaks?
Yeah. I don't know.
Apparently demolition... Well, there should be more information on demolition elves because they're goddamn awful.
It says, in the United States, demolition elf folklore is relegated to the fringes of historical record, and it's only in urban legends. This is not the case in Iceland, which I have visited, and this is true. Elves are recognized as legal presences with rights to a territory and a voice in regional development. The elves are associated with certain rocks which must not be moved or touched. In the past, construction work that went ahead despite elf sightings and warnings from seers have been met with catastrophe. So I assume that that's where the trout thing came from. But it's kind of interesting. They do, like, you see little elf houses. Like, they're all over the place. And they're tiny little buildings made out of stone. And they just are everywhere. When you're driving down the highways in Iceland, they are all over the place. So...
were there any, like... None of those sightings sounded like what the description started as.
I would agree. Yeah, this is a weird one.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean this is.
I mean, they sound terrible.
Yeah,
but by their description or by what they are implied by the eyewitness, very terrible eyewitness accounts, they're awful things. These demolition elves.
These demolition elves should be avoided at all costs.
Yes.
If you are on psilocybin or just happen to be near an area that seems like it's being hit by a demolition elf, they know official stance is that you vacate the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of there.
Be safe. If you see something,
run. Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Don't tell anybody.
Fucking run.
Get out of there.
Everyone will know to run.
Bat Squatch? Oh, that's one we'll have to talk about. Sorry.
What's the next one?
The next one, we're going to talk about druidic magic and druids.
This episode is essentially going to be me explaining how I failed to really find anything of real interest.
I found some stuff about. For all three, so I'm good.
Well, so I'll go first on druidic circles and magic. As far as YouTube community is concerned, that is doing yoga in the woods and just like drinking tea and being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's like insane. The amount of it's just like, all right, I'm going to show you how to ground yourself so you can
That's
start.
a lot of it.
And I'm like, oh my fucking Lord alive, you are so weird. And everybody's like awkward as hell. This one guy I was watching was really funny. He kept being like, he's like, well, there's a lot of bugs here. I normally do this like just outside of my house, but I figured I'm I should go into the real wilderness, but I didn't really think about how many bugs would be out here. So like this is fairly uncomfortable. So I'm not going to be taking off my shoes for any of this. It was hysterical. That guy was really funny, but most of it was very boring. Like people that live in the middle of nowhere who think they're magic. Kind of shit. Like, it's very boring people who need something in their life. It's very sad.
Wow.
Just like positive energy and spirits and yoga and cleansing and it was horrible, man.
You know, one of the things that I had trouble with this topic and with the next topic was how many magic cards tied directly into these.
Well, mine was because I look up D&D stuff for like just to listen to. It was I had to wait. I had to figure out ways to not get those in my results.
I almost got fooled about druids. There was a very like realistic sounding druid thing. I'm gonna find it just because it was. I already closed it, but it was shocking. The Druidic Organization, I want to say. Oh, no, that's not it. Either way, it doesn't matter. Basically, it was very accurate. It seemed legit right up until, like, it talked about how druids felt and, like, how they did work, like, how they did magic. And their magic was that they would entwine essences with, say, like, the older an item is, the harder it is for them to influence it. But like a tree, they'd have to work days and days and days because the tree is used to being a tree. Mm. But you can make it sort of bend a certain way or do this thing. But like a young sapling, you can make it do anything because it doesn't have the lock-in power of that. And I'm like, okay, this all seems I could see where this would be coming from. It seems legitimate. Somebody could believe that because it's a lot of meditation. And then I get to a point like there are different colors of druids. The red druid can shapeshift into the war dryad, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
So you get a +2 to his AC when you do that?
I backed out. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I looked and I was like, oh, it's a fucking tabletop RPG somebody homebrewed out of nowhere.
And so you're just like reading the lore almost.
Yeah, and I was like, well, this is helping no one. So I bailed out of that. But I did find some other examples. So this is interesting. They talk about all the different druidic like how you like the levels of druidism and like how it works.
Okay.
And so I like this because it starts out there's Zeroth, and that's a neophyte. And the first level is an aspirant, and the second level is an ovate.
What do you do to go up levels?
So basically, it's all about how like there's like circles of druidism, and like when you are focused on this one, it is. When you're focused on this one, like it's all about study and meditation. It's pretty much basically what we're talking about here.
So when you're 9th level druid, you're just like Super chill.
Yeah, I guess. Hold on, I need to verify that I have not been fooled again. It's entirely possible. Obsidian. Well, fooled again. Dude, okay, so I did find 2 real ones that I'm positive are real. That one just did seem a little weird because it's like the levels of the druidic hierarchy.
Oh, good God.
And then, so I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then you get down here and it goes the 11th level of the druidic hierarchy. And I'm like, priest of the first circle. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
and
that sounds like a rule book.
Yeah.
Starting to sound like a rule book.
15th is the overseer. And then the 16th plus and the 23rd level. So I'm like, all right, well, I was touch and go on that one. Anyway. The druids, basically, there's not a lot known about them because their order was wiped out by pretty much, like, the Romans rolled in and they were just like, no, fuck this. And they killed a lot of, like, all the druids. And most of their stuff was, person to person. It was handed down verbally. So there's not a lot of written things about the druids left.
Did they not write anything?
They did write some things, but it's nothing, like, there's not nearly enough for us to construct who exactly they were or what the fuck they were doing.
Okay.
So this is this little thing I like that starts like druids occur in many mystical tales. In one, druid Fegel threatened to bring fire and rage on his enemies to prevent their men and steeds from going to the toilet. Their bodies would fill up with urine and feces. Of course, from our knowledge of the world today, this is impossible. But there are many accounts of druids who are riddled with mysticism, magic, and possible exaggeration. So basically, they practiced. They were big into trees. They were very much like they worshipped trees. They would carve things into trees. They believed a great deal of power could be divined by like meditating with trees or around trees. And there were certain trees that were very special,
like the elm-enchanted forest tree.
Exactly. Oh my God. Wow, that's another.
That's a whole other thing.
This tree here in this picture, it looks it's interesting. It looks like a dome of like leaves. That is one that they were It says, one thing we know at least is they had sacred trees and groves, and the oak was the most important of trees. But the Romans didn't say after they chopped down the sacred groves and burned the trees. And the druids they murdered were not talking. So we got very little out of what druids do or how they do it. Nowadays, what most druidic stuff is as you said, people going into the woods and doing yoga things. This one person talks about how their house, this guy, he bought a wand. And he said the wood is Mexican red heart, a tree you probably won't read about in Chaucer. The great wood born under a fire sign. Wands are alive. He says that he practices smudging, which is crushing.
I want to start.
He says when you smudge, you basically crush up some sort of flower or plant, and then you smudge it on your hands or your face. And that gives certain benefits, buffs, let's say.
Okay.
It says, I have smudges on my hands now that I made from a European herb, tansy and rosemary, both grown in my yard, and cedar from a branch a friend brought me as a gift because he knew I would do something with it. What are the magical qualities of smudges from tansy, rosemary, and cedar and other plants local native to you? There are lots of books and websites that tell you how to do it. For me, tansy is sweet-smelling and in the people-friendly daisy family, so I naturally feel an affinity for it. I use it the same way North American sweetgrass braids to attract friendly, high-frequency spirits. To bless my critters. He's like, my whole home is a certified wildlife sanctuary. And to please the fairies. It's important to stay on good terms with fairies.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They'll fuck your shit all up. I did watch a bunch of videos on druid circles, like stone circles.
Yeah.
That shit is awesome because of what you were saying, how like there's no actual record of them.
Yeah.
All this shit is like people just like making up their own shit, and it's insane.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, you see this stone circle, there's this outlying stone here. That's where all the energy shoots out of it like a cannon. They're like, what? I'm like, wait a minute, what? And they're like, yeah, they would use that to like basically make a series of circles that fed into each other into a central like ceremonial area where they could combine, like this circle would be towards an earth god, this one would be towards like a sun like energy, this is like a wind energy, and they had all the different energy. Each one was a different type of energy, and each stone did a thing, and they all had these things that like it was all about ley lines. It's lots about ley lines and shit.
You just reminded me, I might have a book about druid magic that I forgot. I borrowed from somebody that I never gave back to them. I remember him,
and that's why we have no knowledge of the druids, because people like
books
you
and never returned them to the
they were
real
like, "What are you guys all about?" Just before the Romans showed up, somebody else showed them. Was like,
somebody
"What are you guys all
borrowed a
about?"
book from the druids and never returned it.
Sorry.
Oh man, yeah. I remember somebody telling me that they were like, I didn't believe it, and then when the fog started to come up the mountain we were on, I was getting scared.
It made me a druid?
That made that guy a druid.
Okay.
Not me, I'm not a druid.
All right, fair enough. But that stuff was fun just because it was like gobbledygook. They were like making up stuff like like terms for the types of energy and stuff.
Yeah.
But and I don't know if you know this.
I might not
I don't know
know
if you know this, but the green sun energy or green earth energy can not only heal cancer, but it can just straight up melt people. Apparently, it's like the green earth energy is the most raw form of powerful energy.
I just found it. So the green druids, they're the ones who can turn into the war dryad.
Well, they are obviously the most powerful.
The red druids completely turn into fire, but retain their humanoid shape. The gray druids, they turn into half man, half animals. The brown druids turn into little golems. And the blue druids merge with ice.
I don't know. I kind of find that interesting. This is a thing that, like, I never looked into druids because they were so kind of prevalent in like fantasy lore and stuff that I was like, I get what they are, but then when you try to look into what they actually are, it's like nobody knows. And anybody who's willing to talk about it sounds like a maniac because they're just making shit up. And otherwise it's people being like, yeah, we don't really know.
Dude, let me tell you this.
It's kind of interesting. The fantasy realm and role-playing games has completely filled the gap
of what we believe druids could do. Yeah. So there's one last thing I want to talk about with this guy who's a druid. This article is really quite funny. But here's where he says, today, Wicca is roughly the equivalent of the village witch, while modern druidry is roughly equivalent to the wizard who practiced in the castle. Druids are not necessarily better educated or better smelling than Wiccans.
What? He really loves the fact that he rubs flowers all over himself. Dude, I bet I could see if I saw this guy across the room, I would hate him. I feel like I would look at him and be like, I don't
ever want to talk to that guy.
I really hope I don't have to talk to that guy.
The first thing he would say would be like something way too personal.
Yep. You're like, that's just, you're asking for trouble talking to that fucking dude. Woof. I smell better than a Wiccan. At least I don't smell like a damn dirty Wiccan. What?
He threw a weird shade at Wiccan.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're a druid, man.
It's like, I'm a druid. I'm a wizard in a castle. You're just some fucking whore in the woods.
Wood whore.
Stinky wood whores.
Oh, man. Oof. All right. Breezing on past.
Yep.
Druids, to a certain extent.
Slamming through these.
We have our final topic, which is bloodletting magic. So, real quick, bloodletting actually started in Mesoamerica. I did a little research about it.
Yeah.
And they would do it as a sign of, respect to the gods. They would always do, ritual performances, and they'd do ritual sacrifices, all sorts of things like that, to, worship the gods in some way. And then the Europeans showed up, and they were like, this is really fucked up. Stop dicking around with your blood all day.
Really got to stop playing
and they put a stop to that. But it was originally a Mesoamerican. It was very common for like the Aztecs, Mayans, all those guys. They were all into bloodletting. It was a real thing that not necessarily they believed it had magic, but it was more a symbol of, worship or respect. Yeah. So, flash forward to 2019.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Matt?
Dear Christ in heaven. Well, first I watched way too many videos by a woman who just like seemed like the most boring person on earth and was recording from like a laptop camera in a room with not enough light in it, and she was like super close to the camera, and her stories were insane. Just like she would never like go into detail about demons. All right. Her whole thing was like you're like asking angels and demons for help when you're doing the bloodletting magic, and she's like, now some people, they just go into it and they think you can just bleed on something and blah blah blah, and she's like, some angels want blood, some demons don't want blood. You got to know what you're dealing with. And she like goes like talking about all the like the types of demons and the types of things and stuff. But she does it like, I don't know how to describe it. Like with the care of like of someone trying to sell you their like precious moments collection or something. It was like so weird. I was like fascinated by it because she's like, I talk to demons all the time, and she spelled Damon like Damon, like D-A-E-M. Yeah. She'd be like, I summon demons all the time. I've had many physical manifestations of demons in my life. It's no big, and never talked about them. I kept watching videos because it was like, you have repeatedly stated matter-of-factly during your almost like mid-level marketing sales pitch for bloodletting that you have physically come in contact with a demon, and you refuse to actually talk about it. It was insane. I watched I must have listened to like 6 or 8 hours of this woman talk. And I was like, she was never going to talk about this goddamn physical demon she encountered. It's unreal. It's so good.
Do you ever wonder, like, so those people are clearly insane.
Yes.
Or they're lying. Those are like the two possible options.
Yeah.
So if they're lying,
she's like selling candles and stuff, you know what I mean? Like to use in your magic to bleed on and melt. You're supposed to like, drip blood in the fire of the special candle for rituals and stuff, or like smear your blood all over the candle and shit. And I'm just like, oh my dear God.
Do those people not worry that if it's legitimate, to some extent, like they are,
that they just sold it to somebody and they're gonna get fucking eaten by a demon,
or like no, that they're lying about it, like makes them a target for like people being angry that like that they're making a mockery of what something that's real is. So like, let's say I've had 38 demon encounters, whatever, and then like would a real demon be like, fuck you, and then like just show up and be like,
destroy them?
Yeah, be like, you fucking idiot, you've never met a demon, you would not have a face.
Let me show you. Whoop, just tear it off, eat it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
fucking madness.
It's weird to think that or maybe maybe they really think that they're having some sort of physical encounter when they're just like at a Friendlies or something. I don't know.
It's like Mary Kay, but bleeding yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well,
super weird. And then I found this other woman.
Oh, yeah.
This woman blew my world apart. Man, she is great. I can't remember her name. Hold on. It's this lady, magical. Hold up. I'm going to accidentally play it for a second.
Take something away from it.
There it is. That is her holding a bottle of her menstrual blood in her hand right there.
Magical Lady Duchess?
Yes, Magical Lady Duchess. Dude, this lady is off the charts. She's amazing. She's just like sitting on her couch in a living room, like doing live like Q&As about bloodletting. So she basically starts the one video, like the first video. Oh my God. She's like, all right, I'm going to explain a blood magic money spell and a little background about blood magic. but it's a live thing. So all her videos are like live streams where she keeps getting interrupted. Where she's like, all right, I'm here. She'll just be like talking and then be like, hey, Stars Kitty 55, I see you. Anyway, you don't need to be cutting your wrists open or nothing. You like, what did she say? She's like, this ain't Charmed. Y'all ain't got to be all extra. You just need to like. This is what I found fascinating is all of the like every bloodletting thing. Everybody's just like, just use lancets, like diabetic. Lancets.
Yeah, that's what both the articles I saw, I read about.
Yeah, they were just like, please don't cut yourself with blades. You can just use a lancet and milk your finger and stuff. But this woman is out of her goddamn mind, and she's like, well, I mean, I get menstrual blood every month, and I ain't gonna let all that blood go to waste. She is fucking lunatic. She was like, well, I don't go so far as to like, I wouldn't put a Diva cup in or nothing and just drink it, but I use it. She talked about how she's like, one thing you can do is you can take a towel, you can roll it up like a dildo basically, and then jam it in yourself and let it soak up the blood. And then she's like, and then you can pull it out and like cut the fibers off to put in your candles for when you're melting. And I was like, what the fuck? You just talked about like shoving a rolled up hand towel up your pussy to get menstrual blood for rituals. No. She pulls out this like wavy dagger, like a knot, it's like it's not serrated. I forget what you call that. But it's like a wavy dagger. And she's like, you don't want to be just cutting yourself open like in your hand. You're gonna get infected. You're gonna look like an idiot. Like you want to be all scarred up. I love my hands. Look at my I don't know. She's so funny. She talks about her husband and stuff throughout it because she's like, she does all this stuff about like sex magic. She keeps talking about sex magic where she's like, there's a part like it's one of my favorite lines because it's just like. Because she keeps reading questions, she stops talking in weird places. And she's like, look, all I'm saying is you can have the nastiest pussy in the world. But if you fuck a man on your cycle, all right. No, I wouldn't do that. She like answered a question or something, never came back to that. She just like left that hanging there and was like answered a question and then was like, okay, so anyway. And went to something else, and I was like, "What the fuck were you gonna say?"
Magic Lady Duchess, what are you doing?
Well, she was like, "You shouldn't be using blood magic on men anyway, ladies. That's ridiculous." She's like, "What do you don't know? You don't know a man. You never know a man." She's like, "You want to use blood magic and bond your soul to a man, and then find out he's a woman beater, and then he's just gonna be beating you for eternity." Is something she said. And I was like, good Lord. And then, man, and early on in the fucking thing, I couldn't find it to show Bob earlier, but somewhere, it's her videos are very long because they're like live Q&As, so they're long as shit. And she's like, someone asks, she's like talking and stops and then like leans in, squints and goes, can you summon the essence of a dead loved one to make love? What? Girl, we ain't here to talk about fucking no ghosts. And then like launched into how you can't summon a ghost to have sex with it and how ridiculous that person was. Oh, it was fucking beautiful, man. I don't know. She's hysterical. She's absolutely hysterical. And she had someone, I think it was her cousin or aunt or something, was just in the house with her off camera, but she would tell her to go grab stuff for her. She'd be like, go get me one of those separation candles. Because she's like, there's separation rituals if you want to get someone to break up with someone else. And it's like a candle shaped like two people facing away from each other.
Oh my God.
Dude, she's like, when she's talking about the quantity of blood that she uses, it's insane. Because she like, I showed you, she's holding that bottle. She has that big bottle. Yeah. And she's like, I mean, that's fairly large. There's a lot of blood. And she's like, oh, I would never freeze it. Somebody asked if they can freeze it. But she's got this bottle. She's like, now you don't need to do this every day or even that much. Like, I don't know how much you're doing. But she's like, me personally, I do this shit all the time. So I'm pretty much doing this every day, so I need a lot of it. But like you might not need so much. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing all day? What are all your spells? What are you doing to the world with all your blood magic? And then she teaches you a spell at the end that's just like, put a bunch of fake money in an envelope, believe it's real money, bleed on a candle, and then say this prayer 3 times and check back in the and you should like, and don't open the envelope until you like come into a bunch of money. And it'll happen.
Oh, it'll happen.
Don't happen. Don't worry, it'll happen.
That's I found 2 people.
I love that woman. She was just fucking hysterical.
Dude, magical Lady Duchess knows what she's talking about.
She is a foremost expert.
Practicing witchcraft, what you should know about blood magic. So this person has a whole article about how you should use blood magic. Now, there are 2 polls in it about how. So, do you believe blood magic is evil? The answers are absolutely. It has more potential for bad than good. It depends on how you use it, like any magic. Not really, but you have to be extremely careful. No, not at all. And I have no idea. The overwhelming winner was, depends on how you use it, like any magic, with 58%. 7% of people, 4% absolutely, and 3% it has more potential for bad than good, are pretty down on blood magic.
Yeah.
But the rest of everybody else is except for 5% who had no idea whatsoever.
I mean, that's quite a wide margin to win by.
So they say a little goes a long way. It's like, don't ever take more than a few drops. Don't ever take blood from an unwilling participant. This includes animals because they cannot give consent.
Yep.
Do not smear your blood on people.
Other people's blood doesn't work for it. Also, is what I've heard. You can't you can't use someone else's blood for magic you're casting.
Yeah. It says, do not ever consume blood. Mm-hmm. Don't let others drink your blood.
Oh, the Lady Duchess says that she's like, they know I do it, but I put my blood in all the people who work for me, like, in a drink or something. It's sort of like a bonding ritual, is what she said.
What the fuck?
Should they drink her
I would
blood?
immediately fire that woman.
You're out of here. Goodbye. You just made me drink your blood, you fucking maniac.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So the correct way to safely perform blood magic would be, take notes, everybody. Sanitize the area of skin with an alcohol pad or sanitizing gel. Sanitize a small poking implement, such as a pin. Poke only enough to break the skin. Squeeze out a few drops to collect for your use. Clean the wound immediately, put some antibiotic ointment on it, and then put a bandage on. Handle and dispose of anything that has been touched by the blood. Disinfect surfaces that may have been near your blood. Keep the wound clean as it heals. Now you got blood.
There you go.
So what's your experience? What's your personal experience with blood magic? Second poll here. I perform blood magic fairly regularly. I've tried it and I don't see the big deal. I've tried it, but never again. I've wanted to try it, but I'm too scared. I'm learning about it and plan to try it when I'm ready to do it. I will never, ever try blood magic. It's too dangerous, or someone used blood magic against me.
Oh.
So the one here that really won the day, 65%, I'm learning about it and I plan to try it when I'm ready for it. But 11% of people say they do it regularly. So blood magic is pretty prevalent.
I mean, it's like that blood over intent stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
But instead of like writing out your shit in blood, this is much more economical. It's blood economical.
Yeah.
You're using a lot less blood. You're just like burning blood.
If you're
in a
anemic,
candle.
this is blood magic is the way to go.
Fucking yeah, this is for you.
So this is important. This is when to and when not to use blood magic.
Okay.
Use it for protection, not minor protection, such as your coworker is a nuisance, but something about life-threatening, like a crime or an accident.
Okay.
Use it for health and wellness, not minor issues like sore throats or skin irritation, but injuries, surgery, and breaking unhealthy addictions. Use it in desperate needs when you're on the edge of homelessness, not just for like some extra money.
I love the idea of using it for like, it's like skin irritations or something.
It's like, oh.
It's like, I like the idea of like, you're like sewing and or I don't know, you're doing yard work and you like bash your fucking leg on something really hard and then you like you go through the length of blood bloodletting and then doing a ritual to just like heal a minor wound.
Yeah.
Like that's like insane.
Knit it together. So that's when to use it. Okay. When never to use it. This is important. There's more of these than there are when to use it. Never use blood magic unless you or the person you're doing it on behalf of is fully prepared to accept whatever consequences it may be. Never use it to target people without the permission. Never use it in a love or relationship magic situation. Bonds between people must be developed naturally and should not have magic. Never use it to gain power. If you can't gain it naturally, you don't deserve it and probably will not know how to wield it. Never use it to bring harm to anyone or anything. Never use it for vengeance or retaliation. So how do you use the blood magic? This is important. In candle magic, mix blood drops with oil to dress and change your charge your candle. Use a small drop or two to anoint and charge any talisman or amulet. In jar or container magic, add a few drops of blood to the container.
Oh, okay.
In petition magic, smear some blood on a paper the petition is written on. Place a drop of blood in a mojo bag before tying it up. Now, here are some quick alternatives to blood, just so you guys remember.
What the fuck is a mojo bag?
We'll get to that. Never. Although not as powerful as blood, there are other things you can use to personalize a spell.
Fucking hit me.
And
this has to be
boost. Good. Urine, saliva, semen, nails, and hair clippings.
Hell yeah.
These are all effective options that will lend power to minor workings. Or workings when blood magic wouldn't be appropriate or advised. Yeah, just jerk out some semen from somebody and use that instead of blood.
So if I want to harm someone, I should use semen instead of blood.
Yeah, you don't want to do too much damage.
Man, if I use blood, you'd be fucked up.
So the thing I talk about a lot is how it doesn't matter. The only thing that's stronger than blood magic is actually tearing someone's heart out and using that.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, at that point, there's no real need to cast a spell on them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. This kind of shit on YouTube is just like sad people that don't have day jobs, that are home all day and have lost their fucking minds and think they're magical and see demons.
These people seem similar.
Are controlling the world.
They're just more literate. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, let's break loose of this magical hold, and go on to some emails. So I'm going to go to They Know Podcast. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hit this one real quick. Also, this is something we have to discuss. Somebody brought this up and sent us an email about it, and we actually said we would reply it to talk about it on the actual episode.
Yes.
Somebody actually said, how would you pluralize Bigfoot? Is it big feet, big foots? And the answer is American trolls.
Yep, that's what you say.
Yeah, you don't say big... See, we're all...
Yeah. It answers this question itself because it's not a Bigfoot, it's an American troll.
Yes.
So you just add an S.
Yeah. And done.
Done.
So Bigfoots don't exist. American trolls do.
American trolls exist.
And that is very important. So thank you for your question. If you have any questions for us, that one was asked on our Facebook page. That's easy enough. Or you can send it to They Know Podcast.
Just before anybody sends me an email, it was like, well, what's like an Asian Yeti then? It's like, well, it's actually an Asian. North American troll.
Yeah. Everything it's all related to North America. It's an Asian North American troll.
Yeah.
An ANA, an ANAT, and then at. If you want to send us the Facebook page is fine.
Yeah, just see how accurate and quickly we answered the question.
Yeah.
So you should ask us some questions.
Yeah, ask us a question or two. Or send us an email at theyknowpodcast@gmail.com. We're always listening.
Yes.
So PP Squelly actually sent us a new little thing. So normally I go through.
Well, before I realized that we had that backlog, I forgot about the backlog. I thought we just had Goose Lady. I sent him a thing and I was like, please send us something new. And he sent it to me the day after we recorded that last episode.
Yes, but he sent us a third thing.
Ooh.
And this is recent. This was on. This was 5 days ago is when he sent it.
Oh, fuck me, yes.
And I tried to send it via Facebook, but something said it was against their standards. It sounds like part of something bigger. So thank you, PP Squelly, for doing the Lord's work. I am going to read this special message.
Here we go.
It's only one. There's only one message in this whole email.
That's all. Please, God, tell me that's one sentence.
Oh, it does not appear to be, but hold on. From tortured subject. No reply at torture.com. Topic, other, subject, I'm being tortured.
Yes!
Question/comment. The government has sponsored a non-consensual experiment regarding subject *****. The experiment is on file with the right government agency that handles case studies and experiments. Government-hired staff carrying out this procedure tricked their own government into sponsoring a brain simulation procedure, but instead they filled his apartment with Con Edison electricity and radiation from his Spectrum internet. And then parenthetically, West 28th Street. While they use military tools to conduct mind-to-body-to-voice-to-skull control technology.
Skull! Oh, God, that's... they finally figured out how to control our skulls. We're fucked.
Pretty much, man.
I mean, that's the last line of defense I had against them.
He had to be filled with electromagnetic waves and radiation to carry out this procedure. The government does not know that they are doing this. They are still thinking that this is an innocent procedure that would not be tortured. The government staff is conducting this torture on **** through an office. Once the technology is disconnected from their end, the entire thing is over and *** will be okay. *******, West 28th Street. Social, *******. The torture hasn't stopped yet. They are using any and all technology to connect to *******. This includes cellular towers, Wi-Fi phone lines, Bluetooth. The electromagnetic waves and radiation can make *** connectable on certain frequencies that the rest of the world cannot hear because they poisoned him with this psychological warfare technique. The end.
Good Lord.
So watch out.
*****. I'm out. I feel for you, *****. I don't know how to help you, *****.
I'm not sure if it's *** or *****.
Let's make free *** bumper stickers.
Free *****.
Yeah. Hashtag free *****.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do for him.
I mean, I feel like *** is...
He's fucked.
He's fucked, man. You don't...
Sounds pretty bad. I mean, he got Edison Con radio waved.
Yeah.
Into nothingness, it sounds like.
It's a real shit show.
They got the control of his skull. He's fucking over with, dude. He might as well just give up.
I feel for *****, Space Star, and
Dash Star.
No, it's Space Star.
Wasn't there a Star?
There was Star, Dash Star, Dash Star. Yeah.
Okay.
It's much like the spam skit. Yeah. Exoxygen Star. I mean, yeah. So we all obviously all of our hearts go out to Star.
Yeah. If you hear anybody talking about torturing a guy named Star, tell him to fucking stop.
Yeah. He's being controlled with mind to body to voice to skull to head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So you got,
dude, the guy's completely under their control.
It's
and the government doesn't even know they're doing it.
Yeah, that's the real thing that is.
So what are they doing if they don't know they're doing it?
Star's being tortured, man.
I don't.
God damn, these fucking teenagers above us are really blasting this loud rock music. I think,
Let's go yell at them.
Yeah, we're going to go yell at them. As always, I have been Ba.
I've been Map.
And have yourself an enlightened day.
You have just listened to They Know, a pseudo-educational podcast about pseudo-science and conspiracy theories, available only on Grunt. Questions, complaints, conspiracy theories, and other truths can be posted to facebook.com/theyknowpodcast. Trust no one, except us, of course.
They're out. Lost. Yeah, well, heck, but.
Hey, everybody, era.
No, it's a suit with a lap. Oh, yeah. Medial suit, fine elf, and I'm a tip to Ellen.
Oh, I guess my meeting of it.
No further verse nader. No house nader, hum.
Yeah, if I. Oh, it's so beef this walk out. Whoa.
Hey.
Hey.
Here, just list it.